Our next step is to go ahead and get some content added so that our kids have something to see when they log on to your page. So in order to do that, I'm going to come down here to my content browser, and I have a couple of different ways, as we always do, of getting to things. I'm going to click on my down arrow and I'm going to go to content. We could also go there by editing the course, and we could go there by adding content, the little blue link you just saw a moment ago. The content window is composed of the table of contents and then a couple of other items that we're not going to go into today. But the table of contents is where I'm going to focus our attention. In the table of contents, you have modules, and then within the modules, you can create submodules, very similar to that file structure we talked about last time with folders and subfolders. It depends on how organized you want to be as to how many submodules you might want to enter under a module. I'm going to go ahead and enter a module called Anne Frank. That is my main unit of study. And then now that my Anne Frank module has been created, I'm going to go ahead and come down here and create a submodule. My submodule is titled Scavenger Hunt because I have a scavenger hunt related to Anne Frank that I want to add to my Anne Frank module. Now, I'm going to go ahead and create a second module, which is Underground Railroad. And so now I have two modules and a submodule within one. There's my submodule. You'll notice it's indented again, working on that tree structure. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get the scavenger hunt and put it up here for the students. So I click on Scavenger Hunt, and I go to New, and I go to Add from Manage Files because I actually have this in my Manage Files location. I put it up there a couple of days ago. So as I go to my Manage Files, I'm going to go ahead and click on my Anne Frank folder that I made, and you'll notice that here is the scavenger hunt right here. So I click in the little box and I click Add. And there is my scavenger hunt. And now you'll notice I have one item in my table of contents, one item in my Anne Frank folder, which is really composed of the scavenger hunt, and there's one item in that scavenger hunt folder, in that submodule. So my module has one item in it, and my submodule has one item in it. All right, in the Underground Railroad, we'll stick with Anne Frank. I want to add a couple of other things to this as well. So just under my Anne Frank module, I'm going to go ahead and click on New, and I'm going to create a file. This file is simply going to be a copied and pasted Word document. So I'm going to pretend that this is my Word document, and I'm going to copy, Control-C or Edit Copy, however you would prefer to do it. I'm coming back, and I'm simply going to paste that text right into that text window. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to check my path, and I'm going to change that path. Again, I want this to be in Anne Frank. So what this is kind of doing is, this is another way of getting things into your Manage Files piece. It's kind of doing it on the sly, really. It's kind of forcing you to put it there if you change the path. If you don't change the path, it's going to put it in that main folder, in your content folder. But if you change the path, you'll be able to get it organized a little bit better, and you're sort of filtering your files in there this way. All right, so I've chosen my Anne Frank folder. I'm going to select the path. You'll notice that it did change down here, and I'm going to publish. I have to give it a title. And this is called Act 2, Scene 3, Activity. Once I've given it a title, then I can actually publish it. So now when I come back up here and I look at my content, I've got an Anne Frank folder, I've got a scavenger hunt folder, and I've got a scavenger hunt, that I can go ahead and use. And that simply was a Word document that I had saved in my course content area. I'm going to come back, or I can just use my breadcrumbs if I want to, come back to Anne Frank. And here, this was the one I uploaded a minute ago. I would go ahead and click on it to just see it, or I could actually download it if I wanted to. Okay, I'm back to my table of contents in my content folder, and I'm going to go ahead and get a video to go with Anne Frank as well. Now, here's something I need to teach you about, and there's a site out there called TubeChop. TubeChop allows you to take a YouTube video and chop it so that you can go ahead and show part of it, or you could cut a millisecond off of it or just 1 second off of it and still be able to use it, because the kids are not accessing YouTube, they're accessing TubeChop. And from right now, for our intents and purposes right now, kids can get to TubeChop. So you have a couple of different ways of doing this as well. If I come over here and highlight my Anne Frank folder, I've already saved this TubeChop. I've already chopped my video. So I have two different ways of looking at this video. I can either do the embed code, which gets a little bit messy. I can show you that, but really it's probably easier to do a link, just to copy the link. So I'm going to go ahead and get the link from TubeChop. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come back, and again I'm going to do new file, create a file, and here I'm going to click on insert stuff. Now you'll notice when I go to insert stuff, I have all kinds of different options. I can either choose an external video file from my computer, and I can go find it somewhere, or I can simply insert a link to another file. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that link. I've already copied the URL, and I'm going to click next, and the link text will be Anne Frank video. I'm going to refresh my preview, fix my typing error, and click insert. I'm going to go ahead and make this much bigger so I can actually see it. I can go ahead and bold it and italicize it if I want to, underline it if I want to, and then again check my path right here. I'm going to change my path so that it does go into my Anne Frank folder. I'm going to select the path, and then I'm going to click publish. I'm going to give it a title, and then I'm going to select publish. Now when I click on this link, we hope it goes to the right page, and it does, and we click on the movie.
This is the living room for all of us, but your parents will sleep in it at night.
And you'll be able to see the movie without having to worry about kids not being able to access YouTube. So that's kind of a two-in-one lesson. A little lesson on YouTube, and a little lesson on TubeChop rather, and a little lesson on how to get the video linked. Coming back to my page, here's my Anne Frank folder. Again, my Act 2 Scene 3 activity, which is basically just an announcement, and my scavenger hunt is in its own folder. My Anne Frank video is here. I link to it, play it, and all is good. Okay, again, coming back. So we've gone ahead and inserted a file from somewhere on our computer. We've inserted a file from our Manage Files part where we already had it saved. We're going to go ahead and get an Underground Railroad item up there as well. So I'm going to come back here and go to Content, And in my Underground Railroad folder, I'm going to go ahead, and I could do the drag and drop if I knew exactly where it was, but I'm going to go ahead and click Create a File. And again, I'm going to insert stuff. I'm going to go find that file, and I'm not sure really where it is. It might be already in my course offering, so I may have already put it in my managed files, but when I go to look for it there, it's not there. So I'm going to come back to my computer and I'm going to go find it. Hopefully I have it somewhere saved, and I thought I did. Let's see if I have it in my content folder. There it is, Underground Railroad Charts. Click Open. Again, we're going to choose our destination. This I want to go in my Underground Railroad folder. So I select that path, I upload the document, I give it a couple of seconds to upload. My link text is going to be Underground Railroad. I insert it. I'm going to make it bigger so I can actually really see it. Bold, italicize, underline. Remember, you can change the color, you can do all that kind of stuff. And really it's called an Underground Railroad chart. And then I'm going to publish after I give it a title. Now I'm going to publish. Having a hard time remembering to give things titles. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click on it. It downloads it for me right away. I open up the downloaded document, and there it is. So now I have two modules, my Anne Frank module. If I click on it, inside that I have that announcement, I have the video, and I have the scavenger hunt. If I come back to my home and I click on the Underground Railroad module, within that module I have the Underground Railroad chart. Now here's what's also interesting. What I've kind of done, I sort of have killed two birds with one stone a little bit. If I come back up here to Edit Course and I go down to Manage Files, this is the place we were last week. Notice that as I have been adding things to my course, I have been able to start organizing my files as well, because now in my Manage Files I have the things that I have uploaded. You'll notice that they were just modified a few minutes ago, and I kind of killed two birds with one stone by getting my Manage Files sort of straightened out while I was putting content in. All right, so that is those components of getting content in. Let's say that we wanted to add something that was a graphic, some sort of an image. I'm going to go ahead and go back to content, and let's say that I had a picture or an image, something, of the Underground Railroad saved somewhere else on my computer. I'm going to go click New, I'm going to create a file, and this time, instead of inserting stuff, I'm going to go ahead and click on Insert an Image. I'm going to go and find it. I could find it in my course offering if I had any there, but I don't think I do. So I'm going to go ahead and look for something, and I know I have something on my desktop that would serve as an image. She said, with great anticipation. Here's an image. I'm going to go ahead and open it. Actually, I think I'll go with this one. It has a more inviting title. Again, I need to choose my destination. This is my way of getting it into the course offering, getting it into those managed files. I'm going to put it in Underground Railroad, and I'm going to select the path. I'm going to add it. Its name was Success. I'm going to give it a title before it reminds me to give it a title. Again, change my path, get it in that Underground Railroad folder, and publish. So when I come back to my Underground Railroad folder, I now have that image that pops right up because I selected it as an image. So those are some different things that you can go ahead and get entered into your content. You can also do embed code. I'm more than willing to work with anybody on that you would like me to. It can get a little bit messy. You have to be a little bit careful, but I'm happy to work with anybody. If you would like me to work with you on that, just let me know. Those are the few component pieces that you'll be working with, and if you have questions, please let me know.